There's no damn rhyme or reason behind their lying bullshit. So thank you, Craps. Sorry, gentlemen. Enjoy your show.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, because we
No, it's literally playing live. It
live,
does play live. It just likes to tell you it's not playing. So, I don't know. Craps doesn't like metal, I guess. Craps doesn't like political thing. Craps doesn't like, I don't know, movie talk. Craps doesn't like left-wing politics. Craps doesn't like right-wing politics. Craps just don't like us.
Well, we're here.
Yeah, 'cause like we go. Yeah, we were talking about that where we went in and like I was like we were literally on Facebook, Twitter, and everything. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I bombed your show.
No,
Sorry.
you're good, man. Hell no, dude, you're good.
You're the boss. What we gonna say?
Yeah, I have the power supreme. Anyway, all right, gentlemen, enjoy your show and welcome to Metalheads Unite, bitches.
Yes.
Hey, that's the best intro we've had.
That is the best lead-in we've had. Hell yeah, man. But yes,
man.
good Saturday morning to everybody. This is Metalheads Unite. Welcome in, everybody.
Yeah, a little difference today. A little difference today because of the I got family in from out of state, and so I don't have my normal setup, so I don't have any music to play or none of that good stuff. So
Yep, you have to just listen to our voices. Sorry.
Yeah, and try to stay awake.
and try to stay awake. Yep.
All right. Sorry, I'm trying to. The only one I can't see on my phone is Twitch. So.
Oh, all right.
All right. Awesome. So, happy 4th of July weekend, everybody.
Yes.
We're going to kick this
Happy America Day weekend.
America. Yep,
America.
We're gonna kick off the fireworks with Metalheads Unite.
Yes, we are. So how long is your sister going to be in town?
She is here till Tuesday. So.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah, so nice. Get 5 days.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's not too bad. So before we kick off our normal activities, we always kick off with our little birthday section. But we had a special birthday this week. My co-host here, Mr. Chris, had a birthday on July 1st, right?
Yep, I sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. A couple days
ago. Happy birthday. Yep. So happy birthday to you, sir. Hope it was wonderful.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was nice. It was quiet, which is fine. It wasn't too bad. I got to go to dinner with her, my wife, and my daughter, so it was fun. I guess. No, go ahead.
You get to a certain age where it's just like that's what you want. It's just a quiet and a dinner and be done.
Yeah, just want a little peace and quiet, and that was what I got. So that was totally fine. I don't know if we're gonna do anything. I don't know if we're gonna do anything tonight after Angela gets off work. We might go do something. I'm not sure, but we definitely don't need to make a production out of it, which is fine. But But since we're on the subject, I guess we'll give a shout out. I'll also give a shout out to my dad, whose birthday was also this week. His birthday was June 30th, so his birthday is actually a day before mine. So my dad and I both had birthdays this week. So
yeah,
happy birthday to my dad as well.
Yep, happy birthday, Daddy Toronto.
Yeah.
I gotta say it right to them. You might get mad at me.
Oh no, hell! It's been mispronounced my whole life. It didn't even bother me anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's like so when I ever got introduced to you, that was how I was introduced. So that's just how I've always said it. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got once you told me that one time, I'm like, damn, I feel bad this whole time. I've been calling him the wrong damn name, but.
Yeah.
It's all spelled the same, right? It's all spelled the same. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Well,
Yeah, so no harm done.
all right. So let's just go ahead and start kicking this thing off here. I guess we had a few birthdays this week. Not a lot. I kick off with actually I wound up going all the way up to June 29th before I found anything, which is kind of odd. But anyway, June 29th I had Ian Pace, drummer for Whitesnake and Deep Purple. June 29th also had Don Dokken of Dokken. June 29th also had the Caveman Kevin Shirley, which was a South African music producer and mixer. Worked with Journey, Iron Maiden, Europe, and Led Zeppelin. So then we had Trip Ison or Todd Salvador, wherever you want to know, guitarist for Static X. We had June 30th, we had Andy Scott, guitarist for Sweet. We also had Brandon O'Brien, American Grammy Award winning sound engineer and record producer for like bands like Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, Rage Against the Machine, and Chris Cornell. So I'm guessing he was into the grunge scene.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Also, June 30th, we had Yngwie Malmsteen. If you don't know who that is, he's a hell of a damn guitarist.
But a huge egomaniac from a lot of the stuff I've read.
Well, you know, I guess when you're good, you either take it as humble as possible or as loud as possible. I guess it's the only way you can do it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
We also had one of our favorites, Phil Anselmo, lead singer for Pantera Down, and Phil Anselmo and the Illegals. And, you know, of course, what was it, Super Joint, you know, probably 20 other damn bands.
Super Joint Ritual.
Yeah. We had Dan Jacobs, the guitarist for Atreyu. July 1st, we had Roddy Bottom, keyboardist for Faith No More. Big shout out to him because I think that may be his key to fame would be with Faith No More because of the piano and the fish. So
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's like anybody ever talks about Faith No More, it's the first thing that usually comes to their mind. So we had Leah Stanbridge, which was this is like something new to me, so I'm actually going to check this band out. She was a South African metal vocalist for Trees of Eternity. She unfortunately died in 2016, but now I'm intrigued about wanting to listen to South African metal band, so I'm probably going to look them up and check them out. July 2nd, we had Wayne Hayner.
Unfortunately, she passed away.
Yeah. I mean, she was kind of young too. I think she was only like 27 or so. I think something like that. Yeah, not very old at all.
That sucks.
Yeah. It sucks. At July 2nd, we had Wayne Hayner, bassist for Axe. July 3rd, we had Stephen Piercy, vocalist for Rat. And that rounded out our birthdays that I could find anyway. So happy birthday to all of those. If I missed anybody, I apologize. And happy birthday to you as well. Hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful week. So, I guess we can move right into this week in metal.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into the current events. Going to lead off with this one. Unfortunately, we're going to lead off with some bad news. I guess we'll do that just to kind of get it out of the way. But unfortunately, we have another death in the metal community. Former Skid Row singer Johnny Solinger has died at the age of 55. His passing comes a little over a month after he announced he was suffering from liver failure. Skid Row issued the following statement via social media, quote, "We are saddened to hear the news of our brother Johnny Solinger. Our thoughts are with his family, friends, and fans. Godspeed. Singo, say hello to Scrappy for us," end quote. Solinger, who was a member of Skid Row from 1999 to 2015, appeared on the Thick Skin and Revolutions Per Minute album, as well as the United World Rebellion and Rise of the Damnation Army EPs, revealed his diagnosis in a social media update on May 8th. He wrote, quote, "It is with a heavy heart I must let everyone know what's going on with me and my health. I've been hospitalized for over the last month. I've been diagnosed with liver failure, and prognosis is not good. As with most musicians, I do not have health insurance, and it is very difficult to get proper care without it. I'm currently under at least 7 different medications, and I need to have my abdomen drained of fluid that gets accumulated every couple of days. I've lost a lot of strength and will require physical therapy as well. At the moment, I am looking into putting together some sort of fundraiser to help with the medical bills and with the palliative care I will need in the coming months. I am kindly asking those of you who could help put this together to step forward. I would not be asking you all this if I didn't really need the help, but sadly, this is where I'm at. I appreciate and want you all to keep me in your thoughts and send me all the healing vibes you can, but I get exhausted easily, so I will ask you to please not call or text unless absolutely necessary. But please, if you can help in this difficult time, I will wholeheartedly appreciate it. Love you all. I will post a link where you can donate very soon, but I wanted to update you on my condition." Solinger was fired by Skid Row in April 2015 and replaced by TNT singer Tony Harnell. Tony quit the group only 8 months later and was succeeded by the South African-born British-based ZP Thirt, who previously fronted Dragon Force, Tank, and IMI. Skid Row bassist Rachel Bolan confirmed that Solinger was kicked out of the band, contradicting the singer's claim that he decided to leave Skid Row to pursue his solo career. Asked to what led to Solinger's departure from Skid Row, Rachel said it was evident there were certain things going on out on the road that kind of set us thinking things had been going on for a little bit. And, I'm not here to say anything bad about the guy. At certain times, you just get the feeling someone isn't putting 100% into things, he added, and Skid Row is very important to the rest of us, and he wanted to carry on with quality, and we wanted to carry on with quality performances and quality songs, so we decided to make a change. So, in spite of how he may or may not have left the band, still unfortunate to have another artist die so young. He was only 55 years old. So rest in peace to Johnny Solinger, and that story was from blabbermouth.net. So
and thoughts and prayers to all of his family there too. So
absolutely.
So I'm going to kick over to Kerrang. They have a story. According to Trulia, former Metallica bassist Jason Newsted has sold his ranch in historic Sula, Montana. The listing price was $4.95 million, but the final price has not been disclosed. The property, named Rockin' JN Ranch, which had belonged to Newsted for more than a decade, was previously put on the market for the same price 4 years ago, but the price came down by $450,000 in July of 2019 to $4.5 million. It was eventually removed from the market before being relisted in June of 2020. Newsted and his wife Nicole have been longtime residents of Jupiter, Florida. Last October, Newsted bought a home on I can't even pronounce that. Scannatellis Lake in the village of Scannatellis, New York, for $6.1 million. So he's just like trying to pinpoint all parts of the coast. So it sounds like. So that was some. Even if he loses $450,000, I don't think he was ever hurt for anything. So.
That's all right. When the Black Album sells a couple more copies, he'll get that back.
Yeah. he probably done checked his mail and got that back already. So.
Yeah, probably. It's like we were talking about last night. These guys are going to be able to coast on the Black Album money for the rest of their lives. It doesn't really matter what else they do musically.
Oh yeah.
They're basically just playing with house money at this point.
Right. It must be nice.
But I mean, it must be nice to have. Yeah, I was about to say it must be nice to have a ranch in Montana, have a place on a lake in New York, and then live in Florida. And I mean, Jesus, man, rich people problems,
it's
right?
Like what? Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of like what I would do though if I did have that kind of money. I'd just be like, I'm tired of being in Florida. Let's go, back to Montana for 3 months or. I mean, I'm sure there's like certain times of the year, like he probably goes to Florida from the winters. Being in Montana in the winter probably isn't too much fun, but
no.
Yeah, but I mean, then too, if you always said that that'd be kind of like some of the area I'd want to retire in. And people always said, well, it snows. I said, well, I'm retired. I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Keeping with blabbermouth.net. Five Finger Death Punch guitarist Zoltan Bathory won 2 silver medals at the American National IBJJF Jiu-Jitsu Championship 2021, held June 24th through the 26th in his hometown of Las Vegas, Nevada. Bathory competed in the Master 5 division in both the Super Heavy and Absolute division and came in second in both. Bathory, who earned his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt back in March after 13 years of training, commented on his performance in a social media post earlier in the week. He wrote, quote, American National Jiu-Jitsu Championship, International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation, got second place in the super heavy division and second place in the absolute division, which was absolute war. I love my extended family, the jiu-jitsu community, where we can fight scorched earth full force, and then after the fight, we are back to being best friends. Hashtag respect, hashtag honor. I had a great time. My broken toe, not so much. Thanks, everyone I shared the mat with, and my team, Gracie Humaita, Las Vegas team, Micah Sipili. I don't know what that means. Probably something in Brazilian. Bathory also shared a video of his match against open weight bronze medalist Gilberto Monroy Aguas. I wonder why he didn't share his match against the guy who actually finished in first. According to Jiu-Jitsu Times, Zoltan previously earned silver at the Abu Dhabi Pro Jiu-Jitsu World 2011 when he was a white belt. And he took home bronze in the Master 3 division at the 2012 World Championship when he was a blue belt. Bathory is a lifelong martial artist, often featured in martial arts magazines. He is also a judo black belt, a Wing Chun Kung Fu practitioner under Grandmaster Randy Williams, and earned his U.S. Army Modern Combatives Close Quarter Combat Instructor Certificate under Professor John Simmons III and Professor Iako Khalili. Zoltan began his jiu-jitsu journey in 2008 after a training session with the legendary UFC Hall of Famer Royce Gracie. Quote, I've began practicing judo since I was 9 years old, but I was always interested in jiu-jitsu as I knew about the Gracie family's open challenge, which later became the UFC, Zoltan said. Famous martial artists would travel to Brazil to fight them, and the Gracies remained undefeated decade after decade. Many years later, as an adult, I finally had an opportunity to go to the source and train with probably the most recognized martial artist of all time next to Bruce Lee, the legendary Royce Gracie. After the session, I asked him for a white belt and then began my jiu-jitsu journey. For a while, I would travel around the world with Royce's brother, Royler Gracie, who was one of the most decorated Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighters of all time. I'd partake in his seminars everywhere he'd go. Later, I joined Professor Mika Kapili's Gracie Las Vegas team, which I've called home for the last 12 years. So, don't mess around with Zoltan Bathory, man. He'll probably twist you into a pretzel or something. Good Lord.
Maybe that's what they really sing their songs about.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah. And everybody always thinks it's Ivan with the attitude. Who's that? Well, maybe you can have an attitude when you're a damn band member as a jiu-jitsu artist.
Yeah, when he's a black belt in multiple disciplines. Yeah.
Well, so the little guy can talk all the shit he wants.
Yeah.
Not saying anything about it because I'm pretty sure Ivan can back up what he says too. So, or at least he's one of those guys that I definitely think he would go down trying. That's for damn sure.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so moving on. This one's also from Kerrang. Longtime Queensryche guitarist Parker Lundgren has left the band to focus on other business ventures. The 34-year-old musician, former member of original Queensryche singer Jeff Tate's solo group, who was also briefly married to Jeff's stepdaughter Miranda, announced his departure from Queensryche in a social media post earlier this week. He wrote, "For several years, I have been deeply immersed in collecting and selling guitars, as well as rare and fascinating musical instruments. This passion led to the opening of my guitar store, Diablo Guitars, in 2019. Since then, my business has grown, and I recently acquired a storefront with a full service repair shop. In 2020, my wife and I opened Lucky Devil Latte, which has quickly expanded to multiple locations. With these new endeavors and ensuing responsibilities, my time to devote to Queensryche has become increasingly strained, and I no longer am able to commit the time and focus it deserves. For these reasons, I have made a difficult decision to step down from my role as guitarist in Queensryche. I want to thank my friends, family, and fans for making the past 13 years an amazing journey. I wish nothing but the best for my fellow band members, crew, and everyone who has supported us. I hope to have your continued support as I pursue my new ventures. The remaining members of Queensryche added in a separate statement. For over a decade, it has been a great pleasure watching Parker evolve and flourish as a guitarist, songwriter, and most importantly, a wonderful human being. Parker will always be family to us, and we wish him all the success in the world with his new endeavors. Take hold, brother. This past May, Parker was absent from Queensryche's concert at the Chiefs Event Center at Shoshone Bonnet Casino in Fort Hall, Idaho. Filling in for him was Mike Stone, who joined Queensryche for the 2003 album Tribe and stayed with the band for 6 years. Lundgren, who joined Queensryche in 2009, previously set out some of Queensryche US shows in September of 2018 when the band was on tour as support act for the Scorpions. Guitarist Michael Wilton and bassist Eddie Jackson are the sole remaining original members of Queensryche, which split with Tate in 2012 and replaced him with ex-Crimson Glory frontman Todd LaTorre. So, man, it's like Queensryche seems to be one of those bands that's always, swapping and looking for, members. And it's one of those crazy situations. It's sad that it happens to such a good band because I think Queensryche is a really, really good band. So,
yeah, they've really put out some quality music over the years, and the good thing is when Jeff Tate left, I mean, it was kind of a seamless transition between him and Todd LaTorre, but but to echo your sentiment, it just seems weird that they just, for whatever reason, just can't seem to kind of keep people. But like you said in the story, he's got other stuff going on. So, I mean, his priorities have changed. I mean, you kind of can't fault the guy, I guess.
Well, no, I mean, he's and I respect the way he said that he didn't have the time to commit to the band, or what the band deserved, and that's a pretty, I don't want to be sexist with it. That's a pretty manly statement, to admit that, hey, I can't do what you need me to do, so I'm gonna have to step down.
Right.
Most people have a hard time admitting that, and they try to push themselves, and next thing you know, their health's in jeopardy and all that stuff. So it's probably smart on his part to I mean, not saying that I wouldn't want him in Queensryche, but it's probably smart of him to pick his passion and focus on the one passion.
Right. Yeah. That way, if he's, like you say, if he's trying to do more than one thing, he's not pushing himself so hard and then all of his projects start to suffer. But yeah, so by putting all of his eggs in one basket. So yeah, it is probably pretty smart on his part. And it does allow the band to go out and find a guitarist who can devote his focus full force to the band so they can keep moving forward. So,
And two, he may be helping the other community, other people in the community by, having a latte shop, that way Max Cavalera and, Phil Anselmo and all them could be in there 20 different things at once. They get hyped up on latte with shots of espresso.
Yeah. Mike Portnoy would be in that line too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, these guys, I think, we've talked about this before. I think those guys are in like a running competition with one another, like who can do the most.
I swear to God, it seems like it. Who can have the most active projects going at the same time? Yeah.
Right. I mean.
Yeah. All right. Moving over to loudwire.com. 20 years is a long time, but Motley Crue and 6 a.m. bassist Nikki Sixx has reached a sober milestone one day at a time. Sixx commented about his journey over the last 2 decades while posting about his 20th sober anniversary. Quote, "Some people will try and kick you in the nuts, steal your money, stab you in the back, guaranteed to let you down, sabotage your life, not believe in you and gossip that you'll never make a day without drugs or alcohol. And do you know what you're going to say? Do you know what you're going to do? You're going to stay sober one day at a time, wrote Six in his Instagram post marking his 20th sober anniversary. He continued, quote, "You are the miracle, the one that breaks the addiction chain, the one who is a living amends, the one who has altered your family history. You will live in gratitude for those that never thought you'd stay sober or make it out alive because they made you stronger, and you know how to forgive assholes. And when you see people who are still suffering, treading water, or gasping for air, be sure to throw them a life vest because we give back now to those that are still afflicted and hope they too pass it on," end quote. Six ended his post with the hashtags hashtag sobriety rocks and hashtag 20 years. Six has made a habit of recognizing the anniversary. On his 19th anniversary last year, he wrote that sobriety is the road worth traveling if you are struggling. Old timers are here to guide us, but newcomers to sobriety are the greatest gift to this simple program. He continued, "Of course, it's not always easy. First thing I did and continue to do is cut toxic people out of my life. Then comes the first step, and then freedom if you work it. Even non-addicts could use the 12-step program to better their lives. To me, it's a life program. I am a better man, father, husband, friend, bandmate, and creative spirit because of this program." The bassist concluded that post, adding, "I look up every day and say thank you." Six has also spent time in recent years advocating for more attention given to the growing opioid crisis in the U.S. In 2017, the bassist penned an op-ed in which he noted that overdoses kill more people than car crashes and gun homicides combined in the U.S., and that prescription opioids and heroin are the primary contributors to the overdoses. He called for the Trump administration to heed the advice of his opioid commission, who submitted a report that emphasizes treatment, education about pain management for doctors, research and data collection, and rational supply reduction. He continues, "It spells out policy goals based on facts and science. The president should listen to his own experts now." Six also stated that he felt drug manufacturers should be held accountable for their marketing tactics of addictive drugs, stating, quote, "We can better restrain painkiller prescriptions. Pharmaceutical companies are greedy and the regulations are too lax," end quote. Worried about the message this sends to those struggling with addictions, Six commented, quote, "If we fail to take necessary actions, we are saying to addicts, you aren't worth saving. I am here to tell you that all addicts are worth saving," end quote. Realizing he is in a more fortunate position with good health insurance and a support network ranging from a loving family to AA and sponsors, as well as finances, Six knows others don't have access to these resources. Quote, "But they are no less deserving of help. No one is a junkie by choice, and no junkie is a lost cause," end quote, said the bassist. In closing, he declared, quote, "So I am speaking out, and so should you, because another 142 people are going to die today," end quote. Just last year, Six also gathered a bunch of fellow musicians, including Corey Taylor, Ivan Moody, Joe Elliott, Slash, and more, to record the 6 a.m. track "Maybe It's Time," with all the royalties being donated to the Global Recovery Initiatives Foundation. And we all know that Nikki Six has died and come back to life at least once. So I guarantee you, if anyone is grateful to be alive and grateful to have found sobriety, I guarantee you it's him. So
I'm pretty sure it happened.
Congratulations.
I'm pretty sure he died and came back twice. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it was twice actually. Now that you mention it, yeah. But good on him, man. 20 years.
Yeah, congratulations to him. I'm gonna kind of comment on this because it's kind of in my wheelhouse. I was a pharmacy tech for 15, 16 years, and I had a doctor ask me one time about controlled medication, opioids, and he says, "Hey, man, what do we need to do to get people out, get people to stop taking these things?" I said, "Well, first thing you can do is stop writing the scripts. Stop writing the scripts."
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't like, and then he looked at me like, "Well, hell, I can't do that. I won't, I gotta get paid." So it's like one of those things where they want to do something, but they don't want to do anything that hurts their pocket, and the whole point of being a doctor or a nurse or anything in the healthcare field is to help people. It's not to you want to make a good living, but it's not to go out and do some of the things that goes on in the healthcare these days. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, I think people are in the business for the wrong reasons nowadays than they used to be. So
Well, yeah, I'm sure that's the case in a lot of industries. Unfortunately, it's just how much money can I make,
Right.
no matter who I step on along the way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They don't. Like I said, we're always want to have. We always talk about having our fellow, man or woman at heart. When we do certain things, but people have a hard time showing that they're willing to do that.
Right.
All right, that was a heartfelt moment from Metalhead Unite. We're done. We got them getting
Yeah.
lifetime moments here.
Right. Yeah. To quote Jackie Moon from Semi Pro, everybody love everybody. Damn it.
Everybody love everybody. Everybody love everybody. Oh man, love that freaking movie.
Oh, it's so good.
All right, so let's move on to this one's actually from Metal Injection. Canadian death metal band Obvert had a very unique performance in their home city of Quebec. The trio performed one of their first shows since the pandemic to a very unique audience, elementary school kids, and the kids loved it. It all came about because guitarist Philippe Drouin is also a music teacher at the school, and the faculty suggested setting it up. The physical education teacher and school principal introduced me to this idea, Drouin said, and he was thinking about a party to celebrate the end of school year by doing a show in the school backyard where he teaches the music. He knew about the release of Albert album, the beginning on March 31st, and thought about the idea of bringing the beginning to life in the school backyard. Drouin suffered a serious car accident in 2016, leaving him unable to play with his right arm. He was since able to relearn how to play guitar left-handed. That's amazing in itself, right there.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
I wasn't sure at first. It was strange to me, Drouin said, of the schoolyard show, but all the kids knew about the fact that I switched to left-handed and released something before the pandemic started. That show became a big surprise when the kids recognized the musicians and the overt logo on the amp. The kids really enjoyed the performance, which was also very inspiring to us, and we were pleased to release the unique performance video. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that many elementary school kids would be into death metal, but
hey, you got to groom the next generation of metalheads somewhere.
That's right. Yeah. It's hard to with all the WOP running around,
Oh God. Oh, that's a visual I don't want. Ugh.
Right. But I mean, that's just the kind of thing that like. That's what kills me. Is that's the kind of thing that the media wants to push. Is that kind of crap, and then but death metal and the metal community are the bad guys. We're the devil worshiping community and blah 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 blah. But I mean, if you look at some of the shit they're trying to push on stage, that's way more satanic than anything that I've ever heard in a metal album or seen in a metal show. So,
yeah, I mean, not to say that there aren't satanic heavy metal bands out there, because there are.
Right.
Yeah, there absolutely are. I mean, we're not trying to sit here and say that there aren't any satanic worshiping bands out there. There absolutely are. I mean, hell, there are some bands with the word Satan or satanic even in the band name. So I mean, we're not. I mean, we're not trying to say, metal as a whole is innocent as far as that goes, but yeah, I mean, your overall point makes sense. I mean, but then again, I mean, we could talk about the mainstream media all day and
right
about as far as stuff like that goes and how hypocritical they are. But this is only a 2-hour show.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, if you put these people in front of like the Grammy Grammy people that oh crap, my connection's acting screwy. Can you still hear me?
Oh yeah, you're good.
Okay, good. I can't never tell this thing. It's just stupid. But yeah, you take two bands like you take I don't know who was that sung Nicki Minaj. They throw her, and then you take Five Finger Death Punch and throw them in front of the Grammys and say which one you want to perform. They're gonna pick Nicki Minaj. Unfortunately, because you're gonna get you know, I don't know. It's just like you're going to get a way like worse type performance for children and stuff to be watching with her than you would with Five Finger Death Punch. I mean, but they don't look at that. They look at, oh, well, how's, it goes back to what you were saying about, with the money and the doctors and stuff. It's like, oh, well, how's this going to help which one's going to help my ratings? That's all I care about.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care about it's come to the point where they don't care about putting quality TV out anymore. They just want to put out TV that goes with, like nowadays, the trans thing is big. So if it's a TV show about that thing, they're going to put it out there just because that's the going thing, that's the going talk. So they're going to put that out, even though the TV show probably ain't even worth a shit, but they don't care about that.
Yeah,
they care about is the rating. So,
yeah, I mean they don't. I mean, yeah, I mean as far as the Grammys are concerned, I mean we've talked about them on this show before. Mainly to shit on them, and rightly so. But I mean, they don't even. They don't even put the heavy metal category on TV anymore, which I think is total bullshit.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's not the only category that they don't put on TV anymore because there's a lot of categories. So again, we're not trying to just single out our favorite genre, but I mean, if you're gonna have a show that's all inclusive like that, so supposedly all inclusive like that, but you get to pick and choose what genres you broadcast on TV. I think that's bullshit.
No, this is my thing. So if you're doing a 2 to 3 hour show of the Grammy, I don't even know how long the Grammys is. I haven't watched that thing in I'll tell you, I haven't watched it since Jethro Tull won the Metal Act over Metallica. I have not watched it since then because I was just like, these guys don't know shit. So
no,
so anyway, so if you take that 2 or 3 hours or whatever it is with what they have now, I would rather them take 5 and show me everything. Give everybody a fair shake. And I'm saying this, and I'm, we're partial to the metal community, yes. But I think if you're doing a show like that, everybody should get their fair shake. Everybody should get their genre represented on that stage.
I do too.
No matter what it is, pop, jazz, country, whatever it is, that all needs to be represented, and it needs to be represented equally. This is the thing: is these are the kind of people that are talking about equal, and they're doing shit like this. It's just like, no, there's nothing in your platform or anything you're pushing is equal because you're keeping people, you're keeping the metal community out, you're keeping these other communities out of your show. So that's my rant. So sorry.
Well, I'll even but I'll even say this. I mean, when you consider some of the other genres of music that don't get included on TV, I would say that, and not having watched the Grammys maybe ever, I don't think I've ever watched the Grammys, to be completely honest with you, but knowing that heavy metal is one of the genres of music that they excluded from the television broadcast, having not watched and not knowing for sure, I would say that heavy metal is probably the most popular genre that gets excluded. So it's doubly unfair. It's doubly unfair for the genres of music that aren't as popular. Like just say, I mean, for sake of argument, let's just say polka. I mean, there are people out there that like polka, and if there's a Grammy for polka, I guarantee you polka isn't nearly as popular as heavy metal. But like you say, if you're trying to be all inclusive, then polka is included in that. But a genre like polka should be included just like every other genre of music. So regardless of popularity or not, I mean, jazz, like you say, jazz, funk, fusion, it's just anything that doesn't make the TV broadcast, it's all unfair to all of those genres. But there are genres that exclusion is going to hurt more.
Yeah. So, I've been begging. I've been begging for somebody to work for the Grammy, whoever does the bookings and all that stuff for Grammys. I want whoever puts all that stuff together to get some knowledge, because I do remember watching an excerpt or a little skit from like you said, it was a pre-show or or after show or whatever it was. It wasn't actually on the show, but Megadeth won an award, medal reward, and then they played a Metallica song while
That
they
was
were
the
coming up.
Grammys.
I'm like, yeah, yeah. I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? Like, you don't even know the difference between these two bands, and you're out here trying to give awards to them. It's like, it's
Yeah.
so freaking frustrating. It's so frustrating. It's just you know, you need that. That's another thing is, if you're going to do this, you need to have somebody that specializes in those genres. So you got everything that so you don't look like a damn fool, because that makes you look like a fool when you you don't even know the damn band's music to go with the band when you're introducing them. That's just ridiculous. So, you know, not that Dave needed any more reminders about Metallica, but
right. Yeah. You know, no extra salt in the wound or anything. But and the funny thing is like the Grammys aren't the only. I mean, they're not the only game in town as far as just being hypocritical. Because I remember, it may have been earlier this year, I was watching TV and I saw a commercial for those iHeart Music Awards or whatever that they have every year.
Oh yeah.
And the commercial was like going through all of the acts that were going to perform. And I was paying attention. I was like, okay, hip hop, pop, pop, hip hop, pop, hip hop, pop, pop. Oh, there's one country artist in there. But, you know, those are basically the only two genres of music that were going to have performers. And then you had like basically one token country performer in there. Any rock or metal acts? No, of course not. You know, so, you know, all these award shows as far as in the music industry, all these award shows can cram it, you know. And I know that some people are out there going to be like, well, what about the Golden God Awards? Well, yeah, that's all well and good. I know that they have the Golden God Awards for heavy metal. I know they do, but I'm sure that award show felt like they had to exist because they were getting shit on everywhere else. So, I mean, you know, basically the Golden God Awards were born almost out of necessity of the fact that they just can't get any inclusion in any of these mainstream media award shows. It's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. It's just frustrating. It is. But the thing is like, even with all that going on, me and you both can still, you know, talk about all these bands that are still doing great things, you know, and still making, you know, buckets of money, even without being on those shows. So that tells you how strong that the metal, you know, genre is. You know, it's just we don't need that. We don't really need the show,
right?
But I just feel like if they're going to be, I just feel like if they're going to do a show like that, they just need to be more, you know, open and fair with it, instead of just saying, you know, why don't they just say, hey, this is the Grammy Hip Hop Awards, and be done with it, because that's about all it's going to be.
And see, to me, that's what it's more about. It kind of goes back to earlier this year with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame shit. It's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know,
right.
Jay-Z and LL Cool J are not rock and roll artists. They never should have been on the ballot because it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Right. If the Grammys want to only focus on certain genres of music, then just be upfront about it. Be honest about it. Yeah, if that's what you're going to do, be honest about it. Don't try to make it sound like you give a shit about every genre of music when it's plain to almost everybody that you don't. Be upfront about it. Be honest. If you shoot people straight, you won't get it nearly as much backlash. You know, see, that's what it boils down to for me. You know, because
I almost feel like if they want to do something smart, they ought to do it like the Olympics, and then have like, you know, have like 2 shows a year, 2 Grammys a year, and have like one, you know, some featured artists in one of them, and then featured artists or featured genres in another one, kind of like the Summer and Winter Olympics. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you separate it, have two different ones. That way, you know, probably actually that would probably help them. You know,
probably
as far as rating wise, because you got 2 shows a year now. So
that's true. That's true. That's actually not a bad idea, you know. But it's kind
you
of
heard you heard it here first. So if
Yeah.
the Grammys try to pick that up,
Yeah.
I want my cut.
Damn straight, man. Yeah. Metalheads Unite better get some credit, god damn it.
That's right. That's right.
But you know,
We better get invited to the show to introduce the metal artist of the year or something.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd actually be pretty sweet, wouldn't it?
It would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it's kind of a catch-22 really when it comes to the heavy metal genre, because you know, the heavy metal genre has always been, you know, our music. It's been our music. You know, it's always been kind of like the underground. It's been the redheaded stepchild forever, and we know it. And that's kind of what we like about it. But at the same time, again, when there's supposedly a platform that is supposed to be recognizing everybody, you still kind of feel like you get shit on when you're getting shit on. You know, hey, we're not going to put your genre of music on television because we don't think people care. So it kind of pisses you off. It's like there are millions upon millions of people who care and have cared for decades. You know, I mean, the numbers prove it as far as, you know, album sales and stuff like that. I mean, hell, the like we talked about last week, the Black Album has outsold every other album on the Nielsen SoundScan chart ever since that album came out by leaps and bounds. So, I mean, so the numbers are out there. The numbers don't lie, you know, that there are metalheads literally everywhere. So I guess you just gotta figure out what you can tolerate and what you can't. But it's to me, it's annoying when, like you say, like a song like WAP is so popular and it's just so stupid, you know, but such is life, I guess.
Probably took 8 people to write it.
Right. Yeah. No. That's another. Oh God. That's another topic we could jump on and head down a rabbit hole talking about that shit too. So I mean, we could probably talk about that on another show, and maybe we will one day. Maybe we'll address that one day. But you know,
if you think about like even like back in the 60s, you know, was it 60s? The Doors were in the
late 60s, early 70s, somewhere.
I don't
remember the exact time.
So if you remember, like I remember like them going. I don't remember which show they were on, but they were going to do a one of the night shows performances or whatever. And they told them on there that, hey, you can't say this certain line of this. I think it was like "Baby Light My Fire." I think that was a song.
No, it's something about not being able to. It was from "Light My Fire." It was something about not getting much higher. I don't remember.
Right.
What the hell is it?
Yeah, so they told them, they said, oh, you can't do that. You can't say that. You got to just leave that lyric out or replace it or whatever. You just can't say it. Of course,
he did it anyway.
You know, well, I mean, that's what rock and rollers do, right? I mean, that's what we've been told we can't. Well, we do. I mean, that's just how it works. It's always worked that way. I mean, then you got to look at like the the 80s where you had people, the government, Tipper Gore, all the government trying to like just trying to put an end to the industry. I mean, with their stupid allegations and waste of freaking money. So it is what it is. But I feel like that's like you said, it's definitely a rabbit hole we could go down and probably talk for hours. But
yeah, I mean, you look at everything that they were trying to do, that the PMRC was trying to do in the mid '80s, back when Dee Snider had to go to Dee Snider and Rob Halford and all them, but it was spearheaded by Dee Snider. We all know that, but all of the stuff that they were trying to go after and come down on, as far as in the mid '80s, I mean, is nothing compared to the stuff that they'll actually allow on TV now, like on award shows in prime time, that they'll actually allow now. But they were pissed off in the mid '80s about when MTV was only like 3 or 4 years old and shit like that. And, there was no social media, there was no internet, all of the stuff they were trying to ban is child's play, by comparison to what, is allowed on mainstream television now. I mean, it just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So we got way off target, so let's jump back
Way
in
off
here.
target.
Oh man,
Way off.
So,
but for good reason, I think.
Yeah,
I can't even remember whose turn it is. Is it my turn? I think it's my turn.
Yeah, I think it's yours.
I think it's my turn.
I gotta go grab my charger anyway. So.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll make it my turn. So, you go ahead. All right. This is over at loudwire.com. Megadeth bandleader Dave Mustaine has joined Cameo, the online video sharing platform where a user can pay a fee to have a participating celebrity send a personalized video message to themselves or others, signaling his arrival to the site in a public video on Thursday, July 1st. Mustaine captioned the clip with an unavoidable quip invoking Megadeth's 1993 Countdown to Extinction single, Sweating Bullets. Quote, "If you want to meet the real me, find me on Cameo," end quote, he wrote. It's pretty clever. In the video, the rocker said, quote, "Hey, I'm Dave Mustaine, and I'd like to invite you to have me send a personalized greeting from Cameo for you to your friends," end quote. He added that he could say happy birthday, happy anniversary, Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, whatever, or some of my personal favorites like F you. Laughs. No, we won't get into that here. But I will tell you that if you do have me do a cameo for you, a portion of the proceeds will go to the charities I support, end quote. Get those video requests in quick because next month Megadeth hit the road alongside Lamb of God, Trivium, and In Flames for a summer U.S. tour. However, founding bassist David Ellison won't be participating after being removed from Megadeth following a recent sex scandal that included the leak of compromising images and video of the musician taken from a two-way call video. Some accused Ellison of child grooming, but he and the woman involved claimed she was of age at the time of their virtual encounter. In the last year, Megadeth had only just started to get back to performing after Mustaine underwent successful treatment following a cancer diagnosis in 2019. The COVID-19 pandemic then put a pause on their touring from March 2020. So, go have Dave Mustaine say hi or happy birthday to a friend or family member or a loved one. So. But it's cool that the money that he collects will, a portion of it's going to go to charity. So that's very cool. So
right,
help out some cool charities.
Yeah, I've actually done one of those cameos for her, so pretty cool. It's from my wife's birthday last year.
Oh yeah, who you kind of cut out there for a second? Who did you have do the cameo?
Oh, sorry. We had crap, I can't remember his name now. He played Crowley on Supernatural. That was like her favorite character on the show. So I got him to do a birthday shout out for her, which was pretty cool. I mean, he actually did a couple of minute long thing there, so it wasn't like, hey, happy birthday, see you. It was actually kind of personable, and I really appreciated it. Like some of that stuff's actually cool on there. Actually, wished I knew it was your birthday. I would have sent you one, but I didn't know until like Wednesday or something. I seen it was like showing up on Facebook. Says, "Oh, upcoming birthdays." And I said, that little shit didn't tell me nothing about it last week.
Well, again, like I said at the beginning of the show, I just, wanted it to, be kind of a quiet thing. I mean, I'm not against birthdays or anything, but I mean, people don't need to fawn all over me. It's fine.
Well, I mean, you're the one that missed out. I could have had Tim Ripper Owens wish you a happy birthday, but because he's on there too. He could have
just like done a banshee screaming happy birthday. That would have been cool as shit. Yeah. That would have been cool.
Right. Yeah, they got a lot of cool people on there, man. Like you would think it would be so to think about it this way. Mark Starr is actually more expensive than Dave Mustaine.
Really?
Yeah, he's wanting like $350 or some shit for. I'm just like, man, you better do a whole damn birthday song for $350.
You better for $350. You better sing me "Happy Birthday" doing your Ozzy Osbourne impersonation.
Exactly, or something.
Which, if you guys haven't seen Michael Starr of Steel Panther do his Ozzy Osbourne impersonation to Crazy Train, when you get a chance, go over to YouTube and check that shit out because he fucking nails it. We got to see Jason and I. We got to see him do it live in Nashville a couple years ago, and it was balls on accurate. Oh man, it was and it's hilarious. Of course, Steel Panther's hilarious anyway, but that impersonation was so dead nuts.
Yeah, he's a pretty funny. I mean, it's, like I said, they're a fun band. So
very fun band.
And speaking of Ozzy, look at here. You see that shit I did there?
Hell yeah.
It's like you knew what the next story was. This one's from Metal Hammer. When archaeologists in the future delve through the rubble that 2021 has left behind, we wonder what they'll make of all the Funko Pop figures. Since its inception in 1998, Washington toy company Funko has released something in the region of 20,000 products, with an early emphasis on wacky wobbler bobblehead dolls being surpassed by the huge success of their Pop vinyl figures. These allegedly cute figures are now an enormous business. In 2018, Pop's vinyl toys generated over $600 million in income for the parent company, with musicians including Alice Cooper, Elton John, Billy Idol, Iggy Pop, and Kurt Cobain having their official likenesses. Good Lord. They're rendered in highly desirable polyvinyl chloride form. Now that after releasing an Ozzy Osbourne Pop vinyl figure and adding to their Funko Pop album series with a Black Sabbath album released later this year. Late last year. Sorry. Funko have taken another step towards collectible towards collectible toy immortality by unleashing a figure celebrating the 40th anniversary of Ozzy Osbourne's Diary of a Madman. Never forget where it started, exclaimed the manufacturers, or the journey that unfolded along the way. By collecting this special Pop album of Diary of a Madman, which features a Pop Ozzy Osbourne, as he's seen on the album cover, and the album cover art packaged together in a protective case that can be hung on a wall. The Pop inside is secured to the case to help keep your display looking pristine and undisturbed by all the heavy metal music and headbanging that's inevitable. Vinyl figure is approximately 4 inches tall. So I have seen some of those. I actually seen some Corey Taylor. There was some other bands I seen too that was on there. I want to say Slayers. I think Slayer had a whole set of theirs Pops figures. So they're pretty cool.
Man, I'm telling you what, you can find those things everywhere.
Well, the thing is about those is like when they do these, from what I've read, because I collect those things, it's like when they make these, they only make so many, and then they don't make them anymore. So whatever you have out there is out there. So they're not going to go back and remake a Batman number 67 figure, because that's it. They made all of them they're going to make. Whatever's out there is out there. So that's the cool thing about them. So they are collectible figures because they only make so many.
That is definitely a good way to do it. But I've seen. I don't have any. I do think they're cool. But usually when I start collecting something, it kind of overtakes. So I try not. I actually try to avoid collecting things. I've got my hockey jersey collection, in the closet over there,
right?
And I've got over 80 of those. So the top portion of my closet is full. And when I was a kid, I used to collect, hockey cards and stuff like that. So but usually when I collect something, I go a little overboard. So I try to rein in the collections. I did that a long time ago. the last thing I collected, I was collecting those 18th scale die-cast cars. And just like at one point, I just had too many, so I just decided to sell my collection and just kind of quit that one cold turkey. But I have seen those Funko things. Obviously, I've seen them at like Walmart, Barnes and Noble, Hot Topic, Spencer's. I mean, basically,
Oh yeah,
So I mean, they're
GameStop.
everywhere, and they are, yeah, GameStop. I mean, they are cool, and I do like them. You know, and they cover everything, comic books, video games, TV shows, music,
Right.
So I mean, there's really no, there's really
Which,
no.
You just reminded me that GameStop's got one that I've been wanting to get, and I keep forgetting. So I gotta like, because it's kind of like our GameStop's kind of like off of the main road, so it's hard. It's easy to forget that it's there sometimes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's kind of tucked away a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they had one. They had the Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal. You remember the video game?
Oh yeah, shit, man. Hell yeah. Twisted Metal Black was the shit.
Yeah, they had a Sweet Tooth ice cream truck as a pop, and I was like, "Oh my god, I want that so bad."
Wow. Now I do have a question.
Yeah.
What was the Kurt Cobain one, pre or post shooting?
Oh my god, let's hope it was pre-shooting.
Come on, that was 1994. I mean, too soon.
We're gonna
really?
get canceled. Oh my god.
Actually, since we're
what's even worse is like it comes with accessories, so hopefully it didn't come with a shotgun. Oh.
Well, the funny thing is you would figure if it came with a shotgun, it would probably have sold out quicker.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Actually, if it came with, well, if it come to what all the fans think happened, it would come with Corey or what's her freaking name?
Courtney Love.
Courtney Love holding the shotgun. Yeah, holding the shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we all think happened anyway.
That's true. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So it's all jokes aside. I mean, suicide's not funny.
Right.
All jokes aside.
Right. Suicide is no solution.
No, it's not. No, it's not. All right. Let's see. I'm going to move over to the PRP.com for a isn't it ironic kind of story. Kill Switch Engage, Time of Grace. It's you'll probably think it's ironic after I read you this story. And this is about a band that we both are huge fans of. Kill Switch Engage, Times of Grace, etc. vocalist Jesse Leach appears on the latest episode of the Talk to Me podcast discussing Time of Grace's forthcoming album, Songs of Loss and Separation, which is due out on July 16th, his 2012 return to Kill Switch Engage, and more. Early on in the conversation, which you can hear below at the story at prp.com, Leach revealed that the majority of his passion for metal lies in that of death metal. He stated, quote, "I love metal, don't get me wrong, but I'm more of a death metal dude. If I'm going to go out and put on a metal record, I'm old school death metal. That's the shit I like," end quote. When quizzed about his top 5 death metal bands, he responded with Entombed, Carcass, Edge of Sanity, Cannibal Corpse, and Suffocation. This led him to discuss his thoughts on metalcore, a genre Kill Switch Engage helped to popularize earlier in their career and remain one of the largest acts in. He revealed that the now standard template for the style of music doesn't really appeal to him, offering, quote, "I don't really like the metalcore style. It's not something I listen to. The sing-songy with the yelling, screaming, I was part of helping develop that sound, but it's not something I like go and listen to metalcore. I don't give a shit about it." Leach's listening habits aren't limited to metal, however, as he later discussed the passion he has for punk, hardcore, and more further on in the chat, which is, posted below. It's like looks like it's a 58.5-minute interview, which is at the bottom of the the article from which I'm reading. But I just thought that was very ironic when I read that. He's a singer in a metalcore band, and he is basically quoted as saying, "I don't give a shit about the metalcore sound." So I was like, okay. So
Well, I mean, we've come across stories similar to this before with, I know I'm going to bring this up and probably get heat for it because every time I do, but, we did a story with the Nickelback. Was it the guitarist? I think it was a while back was talking about he wanted to do metal album, but
Right.
the rest of the band was like, that's not what we are. So I think you got a lot of that in certain bands to where they want to do what they love, but that's not the kind of band that they've molded the band to be. So, it's kind of like one of those things where we've talked about that before too, where say like 30 Seconds to Mars, which is a band that's obviously not, probably barely a rock band, but if they come out with a metal album after all the time that they've made being mainstream, because let's face it, their music is mainstream. If they put out something, they would be on iHeartRadio tomorrow.
God, yeah.
But yeah, so it was it's like those things like that will always happen with, if you try to change your sound or anything like that. It's like, they always get heat just changing a little. Look at the Heat Metallica guy for just tweaking their sound. I mean, they didn't even like change it; they just tweaked it. So,
yeah.
So I mean, it's like going a whole different direction. Yeah, you're probably going to get shit on by all your fans. So I can kind of grasp that, I guess. So let me move over here. I'm going to try to cover that one that I said that I just found this morning over at loudwire.com. Last year, high energy Seattle heavy rock outfit Void paid tribute to one of the area's musical icons by covering the Foo Fighters' early barn burner Weenie Beanie. I ain't never even heard that song. This week, by the Rising Rockers return with a new music video for their original song, Hostage at a Beach House Party. The clip's June 17th premiere on their YouTube channel accompanies word that the band has signed to Thriller Records, a new label from Bob Becker, the founder of longtime punk and indie outpost Fearless Records. Exclusively with Loudwire, Void has shared the behind-the-scenes look at the making of a Hostage at a Beach House Party video. You can watch that on YouTube. Beanie Show, Void's lead vocalist, tells Loudwire that the video spawned out of a harebrained idea that the band just kept adding and subtracting and changing and morphing until we got this insane thing we have now, even down to changing things on set and just going with the flow of the day to get the most genuine thing we can put out. I couldn't be more stoked about the end result. He continues, this song probably means the most to me lyrically of all of the Burner EP. While probably the most sporadic and fun song on the EP, it does come from a real place. More than anything, I think to me, it means expressing yourself at the highest velocity while also being able to be transparent with your emotions, no matter what be. Sometimes you're a hostage at a beach house party, kind of like that, Becker, who sold Fearless to Concord Music in 2015, tells Loudwire that he really missed the excitement and challenge of running a record label on a day-to-day basis. In selecting a Void as Thriller Records' first singing, he explains, signing, sorry. They actually misspelled that, but it does say singing, but it should say signing. In select the Void as Thriller Records' first signing, he explains, I feel that they are perfect. They are the perfect artists because they represent this is who we are attitude, and I feel the same way about the label. So we got a call, and then Sandy hit it off. Show says of Becker, next thing you know, we're here. We're truly stoked to have linked up with Bob and Thriller, and can't tell you how much it means to have their support. We can't wait to see what we can accomplish together. So that's pretty cool. Like they, start a new label. The first band signed to its Void. So I guess we can see how this plays out. I mean, Fearless Records has put out a lot of good bands. I know Ice Nine Kills were with Fearless, among a lot of others. I could probably go on, but Fearless is a big record label, these days anyway, with the metal industry, especially with Jesse Leach's most hated metalcore.
I could see that kind of being a running joke now. Now that we've kind of
Oh,
discovered
yeah.
that he's not a fan of the sound that he helped create.
They've created a monster.
Pretty much. Yeah. But it is cool to see that there is another record label out there who is trying
Oh
to
yeah.
who's trying to help the metal genre. So I hope they have I hope they have success because there are a lot of bands out there who make good music who do need a chance to get it out there so people can hear it. So hopefully this label makes it work. Hopefully they do the right thing by the bands that they sign and they have success.
Yeah, and I always felt like Fearless Records was one of those record labels that did that anyway. That always took on the bands that weren't as as big, so it was a.
I mean, hell, every
Go ahead.
every band was I was just gonna say, I didn't mean to kind of interrupt there, but
No, you're good.
every band, yeah, but I mean every band started off small at some point.
Right.
I mean, hell, I remember earlier in the year we were talking about how back in like 1982 Metallica played a concert at a fucking skating rink. So I mean,
yeah.
hell, everyone was small time at some point. It's just everyone, I would like for everybody to at least have a chance to be big. I mean,
Right.
some of these bands never even have a chance to be big. I mean, granted, not everybody makes it, but I would like for more and more of these bands to at least have the chance to be big.
Hmm. Well, I mean, so like I was saying with Fearless, you had bands like Ice Nine Kills before they got big. They were putting Ice Nine Kills, I Prevail, Kill the Lights, which we both got turned on to them recently and really like that band. You got Pierce the Veil. So you got a lot of Star Set. You got a lot of bands that are on the Pretty Reckless is even on the Fearless. Right? I didn't even know they were on there. Oath, of course. I remember. Wage War. All those type bands are on the August Burns Red. I mean, those aren't small time bands anymore. Those are bands that we know. And I think that's wise because they, the Fearless record label did such a good job of putting those bands out there where everybody knew who they were.
Right.
And I almost feel like it was the Elektra of the '90s. Everybody was, Elektra was kind of a small thing. Then all of a sudden, boom, Elektra blew up because like all these hair metal bands were damn near on Elektra.
Yeah.
And in a time where Capitol was the big record label. So,
yeah.
So I think we're kind of like that now.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Elektra, because, and I'll go back again to Metallica, Johnny Z basically got Metallica started with Kill 'Em All, and then once Kill 'Em All came out, thanks to Johnny Z, that's when actually Elektra got a hold of them after they heard them, and kind of saw the success of Kill 'Em All. That's how Metallica ended up with Elektra.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like these, a lot of these bands, like it's all how you promote them. If you want to be with somebody like what was this guy's name again? I can't even remember, but I feel bad. I don't remember record producers as much as I do everybody else. But yeah, Bob Becker. So I mean, the guy he had he was part of Fearless before. So I mean, he kind of has the know-how. He has the what knows what to do to give these guys the put them in the public eye, so to speak. He knows how to get that done. So hopefully, with this record label, he can do that with a lot of bands. Like there's a lot of bands that we've heard open up for like Kill Switch or we went to Ice Nine Kill show that some band opened up I had never heard of, and I'm just like, man, these guys are good, But if they're only signed to your mom and pop label and wherever they're from, then they're probably not going to get the notification they deserve.
Right.
So hopefully this will help get a lot of bands noticed, and actually hopefully it'll get us talking about a lot of Thriller record stuff.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. All right, moving over to metalsucks.net. This one kind of comes on the heels of the story I did a little while back about Metallica, but seemingly inspired by the highly scientific, irrefutable study published in June, which analyzed Metallica's entire body of work and produced a chart of James Hetfield's most commonly uttered lyrics. Some Reddit whippersnapper, who else would you expect, has done the same for Iron Maiden's 16 studio albums. And the results are also not quite what you'd expect, although admittedly Bruce Dickinson's lyrical palette isn't quite as anecdotally predictable as Hetfield's. My guesses for most used Maiden lyrics would have been time, death, life, and die, but it's the considerably more pedestrian no, that the KNOW, that gets the top nod, beating out now, number 2, and time, number 3, by considerable margins. And then the chart is listed in the story. A note at the bottom of the chart indicates that the 50 most common words in the English language were excluded, which makes sense. We don't want the, a, in, on, etc. mucking things up. Repeated song parts were also only counted once, meaning die, which is repeated 8 times in each chorus of Die With Your Boots On, only counts once for that whole song. Still, no, KNOW? Blech, kind of disappointing. But speaking of knowing things, Iron Maiden appear to be getting ready to release new music sometime later on in July, so be on the lookout for that. So like I say, I just kind of piggybacked off the Metallica article that we talked about last month, and I believe we also, if I remember correctly, I think I also did Slipknot's. I think I did Slipknot's too, and also, if I remember, both Metallica and Slipknot used the word never the most. I know never was the word that Metallica used the most.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, I think that was also the same word that Slipknot used the most, was never. So Iron Maiden uses the word no the most, KNOW. Just figured I'd shout that out real quick. Like I say, that was over at metalsucks.net. The only other story I have.
Well, hold up. I want to put my 2 cents in on that Iron Maiden story here. So
that's right. I forgot.
Yeah,
good call, because I remember you said last night you were gonna segue off of it.
Yeah, don't kill my segue. I do enough of that on my own. So But yeah, so this was also from Loudwire. Iron Maiden are definitely up to something, and their trail of cryptic clues has left fans and internet sleuths to piece together the information, all of which seems to point firmly in the direction of new music, potentially as early as July 15th. The most significant clue came in a recent interview singer Bruce Dickinson did with Sky News. While many were fixated on Dickinson's comments damning Brexit's impact on musicians in the UK, he voted in favor of UK breaking away from the European Union, by the way. Others were more intrigued by his T-shirt. But this all actually starts quite a bit earlier than that. Then the rare occasion. Sorry, let me start that over because I got right into the next line. Didn't even read it all. Good God! But this all actually starts quite a bit earlier than the rare occasion the singer sports a graphic T-shirt without the name of one of his son's bands printed on it. Can you blame him? In fact, Bruce had even been hinting toward new music while on the North American leg of the Legacy of the Beast tour in 2019, which we can attest to hearing with our own ears at the time. So if you want to follow along and play the sleuth game, Loudwire has all of the clues there to play with madness, so to speak. Yeah, you like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have all the clues there. I didn't want to go through all the clues on the show because it was a pretty lengthy stuff. It's just been going on for a minute, which is crazy. Yeah, it's almost like I almost felt like I was visualizing a Sherlock Holmes movie while going through all the clues. I was like, this is freaking wild. Like, there's like there's like some picture came up, a poster or something from like recently, and it had like some lettering in the background that hinted toward new music. So I don't know, man. It's just like I'm not into all that research. I do enough research for this show, so
Right. Yeah. We don't. Yeah.
but
We have enough time devoted to just getting ready for every
yeah,
Saturday morning. Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, so if you wanna go check it out, it's over there at Loudwire. The whole story's there, and all the clues are there. So if you want to play along and see when you think that we're going to get some new Maiden music, then feel free to do so. Then hit us up and let us know, because, like I said, we don't have the time to do the sleuthing.
Yeah.
We don't have
Personally,
that. We don't have the employment that Loudwire does. So,
right. Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't mind it just being a total surprise, but just
oh yeah, that's me.
yeah.
But I think it's cool that he did that, though. He's dropping breadcrumbs, and just somebody just all of a sudden is like, "Oh, wait a minute,"
Yeah.
At some point, one of them hit him. And it's like, "Wait a minute, that's weird." So I'm ready now. I'm wanting to go play Iron Maiden pinball at the arcade.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that would be fun. Yeah.
Right.
I am pretty partial to the Metallica pinball, but still, the Iron Maiden one's fun to play too. So
yeah.
All right, so just one quick little story. I'm not going to go into great detail because we've actually talked about we've actually talked about this company quite a few times before with other artists. But System of a Down now has a hockey themed clothing collection over at puckhockey.com. In addition to other artists that we've talked about before, such as Anthrax, Gwar, Korn, Lamb of God, Meshuggah, Metallica, Motley Crue, Ministry, Overkill, Slayer, among others. Testament being some others. I'm actually on their website right now, looking at some of the products, and they're pretty cool. Any of you hockey fans out there like me, System of a Down's jerseys, using it looks like the templates of the Los Angeles Kings and the Edmonton Oilers, which, I mean, the Edmonton Oilers jersey actually looks pretty cool. I kind of like that they put the System of a Down in the Edmonton Oilers logo, so I kind of like that. But so System of a Down is also a new collaborator over there at puckhockey.com. If you want to check those out, they actually have a really long list of artists who have contributions to the company as well. So System of a Down is a new addition to puckhockey.com.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So that is your metal news of the week.
Yep.
I guess it is time.
We'll have to get an intro and outro jingle for that segment.
Oh yeah. We need it for all segments at some point.
Yeah. We'll get there, folks. It's a work in progress. So.
Yeah.
But
so let's move on.
I guess that'll lead us into this week in metal history, I'm assuming. Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, this week in metal history, as always, is brought to you by This Day in Metal over at Twitter and on Facebook. Go check out Metalhead Marv at This Day in Metal over on Twitter. He's most active over there. All right. So for the past week, leading off with the very, very tail end of Saturday, January 26th. January 26th of 1987, Pentagram releases Day of Reckoning. January 26, 2007, 3 Inches of Blood releases Fire Up the Blades. January 26th of 2020, Ninth Circle releases Echo Black. June 26th of 1990, Danzig releases Danzig 2 Lucifuge, which peaked at number 45 on the Billboard 200. And January 26th of 1996, Cataclysm releases Temple of Knowledge. Moving ahead to the 27th, June 27th, 1986, Queensryche releases Rage for Order, which peaked at number 47 on the Billboard 200. June 27th, 1983, Twisted Sister releases You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, which peaked at number 164 on the Billboard 200. June 27th, 1980, Samson releases Head On. June 27th, 1997, Hammerfall releases their debut album Glory to the Brave. June 27th, 1989, King's X releases Gretchen Goes to Nebraska. June 27th, 2014, Quiet Riot releases Quiet Riot 10. June 27th of 2000, Deicide releases Incinerate Him. June 27th, 2003, TYR releases Eric the Red. Moving ahead to the 28th, I think that's actually pronounced Tier. I'm sorry, TYR. I think that's pronounced Tier. Anyway, June 28th, 1988, Stryper releases In God We Trust. June 28th, 1999, Testament releases The Gathering. June 25, AC/DC releases Fly on the Wall, which peaked at number 32 on the Billboard 200. June 28th of 2019, Majesty releases Legends. And June 28th, 2011, Queensryche releases Dedicated to Chaos. Moving ahead to the 29th, June 29th of 1992, Blind Guardian releases Somewhere Far Beyond, which peaked at number 1 on the Japanese charts. And Iron Maiden releases the single From Here to Eternity, which peaked at number 21 on the official charts in the UK. June 29th of 1997, Omen releases Reopening the Gates. June 29th, 1988, Voivod releases Dimension Hatros. June 29th of 1999, Slipknot releases their self-titled debut album, which peaked at number 51 on the Billboard 200. June 29th of 1991, Bathory releases Twilight of the Gods. June 29th, 2004, Atreyu releases The Curse. Moving ahead to June 30th, 1977, Kiss releases Love Gun. June 30th, 1986, Savatage releases Fight for the Rock. June 30th, 2003, Night Rage releases their debut album, Sweet Vengeance. June 30th, 1984, Wrathchild releases their debut album, Stack Attack. June 30th, 1980, Crocus releases Metal Rendezvous. June 30th, 2016, Embloodiment releases The One Before the Last. June 30th, 2009, Obituary releases Darkest Day. June 30th, 1985, Tyran Pace releases Long Live Metal. And I didn't know this until I actually, because I've seen Tyran Pace before on the list here. I did not know, but that was actually Ralph Sheeper's first band. And if you don't know, Ralph Sheepers is the lead singer of Primal Fear, of whom I am a huge fan. So I'm actually going to go back and listen to some Tyran Pace so I can hear some of Ralph Sheeper's earlier recordings. Yeah, I didn't know that until this week. Let's see, June 30th, 1992, TNT releases Realized Fantasies, which peaked at number 44 on the Swedish charts. June 30th, 1997, Iron Savior releases their self-titled debut album. And June 30th, 1998, System of a Down releases their self-titled debut album, which peaked at number 124 on the Billboard 200. And moving ahead to a date near and dear to my heart, July 1st, 1992, Merciless. Yeah, Mick Foley Cheap Pop.
Yeah, right.
July 1st, 1992, Merciless releases The Treasure Within. July 1st, 2016, Fate's Warning releases Theories of Light, and Dramatica releases their debut album Fall of Tyranny. July 1st, 1991, Tourniquet releases Psychosurgery. Massacre releases their debut album From Beyond, and Cannibal Corpse releases Butchered at Birth. July 1st, 1980, The Rods releases their debut album Rock Hard. July 1st, 1983, Bitch releases their debut album Be My Slave, and you have to say it like that too. You have to say it, bitch.
Bitch, be my slave.
You have that B. You have to do that. Yeah, you have to. It's like a rule.
But you have to say it all together. You say that all together, though. You say that all together. Like, bitch, be my slave.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, normally you do, but I just had to put it in there that was their debut album. So that was just. But now that you know that, yeah, you have to say it that way. You're right. You have to do that. And also on July 1st, 1983, Manowar releases Into Glory Ride. July 1st, 1982, Anthrax releases a self-titled cassette demo all the way back in 1982. July 1st, 1984, Spellbound releases their debut album Breaking the Spell, and Warfare releases their debut album Pure Filth. July 1st, 1987, Napalm Death releases their debut album Scum. And July 1st, 1990, Tourniquet releases their debut album Stop the Bleeding. So 1990 and 1991, on July 1st, that band Tourniquet released an album on the same day, 2 years apart. Or 1 year apart, sorry.
That's crazy.
So that was kind of cool. Yeah, that was kind of neat when I saw that. Let's see. Moving ahead to July 2nd, 1984, Dio releases Last in Line, which peaked at number 24 on the Billboard 200. And let's see, Madam X releases their debut album, We Reserve the Right. And Sirith Ungol releases King of the Dead. July 2nd, 1986, Death Mask releases their debut album, Split the Atom. And Metallica releases the single Master of Puppets. Here's something that you may or may not have known, Jason, because I didn't know this. The single for Master of Puppets was only released in France and as a promo single from Elektra Records to radio stations in the US. That was the only two formats in which Master of Puppets was released. I never knew
did
that.
not know that. That's crazy. Wow.
That is crazy. So I thought that was, I mean, why France? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. So that was a cool little did you know that that Metalhead Marv had attached to that Master of Puppets release. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see. Also on July 2nd, 1986, Savage Grace releases After the Fall from Grace. July 2nd, 1976, Lucifer's Friend releases Mind Exploding. July 2nd, 1991, Alice Cooper releases Hey Stupid, which peaked at number 47 on the Billboard 200 and is also a very solid album from front to back. Yes. I highly recommend it. July 2nd, 1993, Deep Purple releases The Battle Rages On, which peaked at number 192 on the Billboard 200. July 2nd, 2010, Soilwork releases The Panic Broadcast. July 2nd, 2001, Alter releases Red Harvest, and Aborted releases Engineering the Dead. July 2nd, 2013, Huntress releases Starbound Beast. Moving ahead to today's date, July 3rd, 2000, In Flames releases Clayman. July 3rd, 2009, Suffocation releases Blood Oath, which debuted at number 135 on the Billboard 200. And last but not least, July 3rd, 2012, Icarus Witch releases Rise. So those are the historical releases from June 26th through the first part of today's date, July 3rd. So I'm sure I will have more for July 3rd leading off next week's show. And ironically enough, next week we'll actually have Independence Day included, which is kind of weird. That's right. Just the timing of it.
All right, I got a couple of interesting stories here. So let's kick off this week in metal history with June 27th, 1980. Led Zeppelin appeared at Messe Hall, Nuremberg, Germany during their last ever tour. After the group had played just 3 songs, drummer John Bonham collapsed on stage, causing the remainder of the show to be canceled. So, wow, that could have been a flag there for Mr. Bonham. Let's see.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. June 27th, 1981, Motorhead scored their only UK #1 album with No Sleep Till Hammersmith. The live album was recorded at Leeds and Newcastle shows during their Short, Sharp Pain in the Neck tour in 1981. The name of the tour was a reference to the injury sustained by Phil Taylor when he was dropped on his head during some after-show horseplay. Despite the title of the album, the London venue, the Hammersmith Odeon, was not played on that tour. So that's pretty interesting. Their only UK #1 album. Like, wow, that's pretty hard to believe. But
yeah, that does seem kind of surprising.
Yeah. June 27, 1994, Aerosmith became the first major band to let fans download a full new track free from the internet, which, probably was not so Aerosmith's to blame for all that stuff, Lars, not to.
Right, yeah.
So let's see, June 28th, 2012, we get Lamb of God frontman Randy Blythe was arrested before the band's scheduled show at Prague's Hard Rock Cage and charged with manslaughter. The incident from which Blythe was charged reportedly took place in 2010 at the band's show at Club Abaton in Prague. According to reports, the fan jumped on the stage where a tussle ensued in which the fan was injured. The fan later died reportedly as a result of those injuries, which I never knew this about Randy Blythe.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I never knew that part. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
June 28th, 2019, Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne offered Donald Trump ordered Donald Trump to not use the star's music for his political campaign. The U.S. president, who was running for re-election in 2020, used Ozzy's 1980 hit "Crazy Train" in a video mocking his Democratic rivals. Sharon Osbourne suggested Mr. Trump could ask some of his prominent supporters, such as Kanye West, Kid Rock, and Ted Nugent, to supply him with music for his campaign. Oh my
Jesus.
God! Well, what should have been said is, "Hey, you could use my music, but I'm gonna need the royalties from that. Thank you." June 29th, 2019, former Guns N' Roses drummer Steven Adler was taken to the hospital after stabbing himself. The musician, who was sacked from the rock group in 1990 over drinking and drug issues, was taken to a Los Angeles hospital after paramedics were called to his home for what was reported to be a self-inflicted injury. Man, how messed up you got to be to stab yourself? That's whew.
Well, it's like I don't know if you remember Plaxico Burress. He was that wide receiver for the New York Giants. He ended up shooting himself in the leg that one time at that club or whatever.
Right.
Fucking idiot.
No. And speaking of that, don't be like Jason Pierre-Paul this July 4th and blow off one of your fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that. So
I did too.
June 30th, 1977, Marvel Comics launched a comic book based on the rock group Kiss. Blood from each band member was drawn by a registered nurse, witnessed by a notary public, and poured into the vats of red ink used for printing the comic at Marvel's Board ink plant in Depew, New York. So, hey, Marvel's been involved in comic stuff for a while with the rock and metal world. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
June 30th, 2000, 8 men were trampled to death during Pearl Jam's performance at the Roskilde Festival near Copenhagen. Police said the victims had all slipped or fallen in the mud in front of the stage. That's pretty rough. Get trampled on at a concert like that.
Yeah.
At least Circle Pits, they pick you back up. So
that's true.
1st of July, 1981, Rushton Moree, bassist with Steppenwolf, was killed in a motorcycle accident in Santa Barbara, California at age 32. He co-wrote their hit Magic Carpet Ride with lead singer John Kay. Steppenwolf also had the 1968 U.S. #2 single Born to Be Wild. Moree left the band in late 68 when he refused to fly back to California at that time, fearing it would sink into the Pacific Ocean after an imminent earthquake. So, wow.
Yeah. We can only hope.
Yeah. Well, I just say it's kind of weird if somebody had that fear, but didn't. He was driving a damn motorcycle, So,
right. Yeah.
That's kind of lets me know that guy may have had some shit going on in his head. So,
yeah.
Anyway, July 1st, 1983, a New Jersey-based quintet calling themselves Bon Jovi signed to Phonogram's Mercury Records, although they had also been considering the name Johnny Electric. The group have since sold over 130 million records worldwide and performed more than 2,600 concerts in over 50 countries for more than 34 million fans. Johnny Electric, I don't have as good of a sound to it.
No.
But
he has seen a million faces and has rocked them all.
That's right. Johnny Electric, open it up for Christmas.
Oh God.
A little Motley Crue joke there.
Yeah. God.
July 1st, 2008, Whitesnake guitarist Mel Galley died at the age of 60 from cancer of the esophagus. Galley also played with Trapeze, Glenn Hughes, Cozy Powell, and the Blue Jays. He must have been a short stint with Whitesnake because I did not remember him ever playing with them. So, July 2nd, 1962, Jimi Hendrix was honorably discharged from the 101st Airborne Paratroopers after breaking his ankle during his 26th and final parachute jump. So, damn, talk about a talented guy, doing his part for the country, or trying to anyway. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool. I knew I liked Jimmy for some reason.
More than one reason. Yeah, more than one reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. July 2nd, 1979, Sony introduced the Walkman, the first portable audio cassette player. Over the next 30 years, they sold over 385 million Walkmans in cassette, CD, mini disc, and digital file versions, and were the market leaders until the arrival of Apple's iPod and other new digital services. Now that's pretty cool. 1979, July 2nd,
I did not.
Walkman was invented.
Yeah, I didn't. If you would have told me to guess what year, I wouldn't have picked 79.
Well, no, because when we grew up in the '80s, everybody was running around with 20D batteries in a damn boombox. Just that was our mobile music.
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
if only we knew about the Walkman. God.
Yeah.
July 2nd, 1991, Axl Rose caused a riot to break out during a Guns N' Roses gig after leaping into the crowd to remove a camera from a fan at the River Point Amphitheater, Maryland Heights. Over 50 people were injured and 15 fans were arrested. Axl Rose caused a riot? I can't imagine that.
No.
July 3rd, 1971. Oh, this is crazy because I forgot I even had this story. We were just talking about him earlier. July 3rd, 1971, American singer, songwriter, and poet Jim Morrison of The Doors was found dead in his bathtub in Paris, France. Cause of death was given as a heart attack. He co-wrote some of the group's biggest hits, including Light My Fire, Love Me Two Times, and Love Her Madly. On the 25th anniversary of his death, an estimated... where did that go? Well, hell, the rest of it disappeared somewhere. Père Lachaise Cemetery in Paris, France, to pay their respects. July 3rd, 2012, Kiss announced that they were set to release a guitar-sized book containing unseen photographs from their 40-year career. The limited edition, called Monster, would have a $4,299 price tag and was 3 feet tall, 2.5 feet wide, and was reported to be the largest music book ever published. Jesus Christ. That's a big-ass book. Oh, man.
That is and this is literally the first I've heard of it. I didn't know they did such a thing.
Yeah, I didn't either. That was, 9 years ago? So. All right, if
a band is going to do something like that, it would be Kiss.
Oh, yeah, if there's a way to do something crazy, they're going to definitely figure it out.
It would definitely be Kiss, yeah.
All right, that was my metal history there. So I guess we can move on to our little special segment here. We decided we were going to do. I titled mine "Metal for America." So,
nice.
But yeah, we were talking about this last week. We wanted to do 10 songs that were 10 metal songs that were kind of July 4th based, I guess.
Yeah.
So you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go first this time. I had, like I was telling you last night, I had a little bit harder time with this than I have with the other ones. So, I did come up with 10. I did have multiple entries by a couple bands, but it's my list, so you just have to deal with that.
That's right.
At
least it's not 10 Kid Rock.
No, actually, spoiler alert: Kid Rock is not on this list. So, but he could have been, but he is not. So again, in no particular order. No particular order.
What'd you call me?
I had "Don't Tread on Me" by Metallica. I had the song "Camouflage" by Sabaton, which I know is kind of ironic because Sabaton is a Swedish band, but I like that song "Camouflage" because it's a story about a fictitious Marine during the Vietnam War, so that's why I went with that one. Then I have "No One Gets Left Behind" by Five Finger Death Punch. I have "MIA" by Avenged Sevenfold.
Nice.
I have "Far From Home" by Five Finger Death Punch. "Revolution Is My Name" by Pantera, which may not directly be which may not technically 100% be, talking about America, but when, talk about,
It says revolution.
1776 and all that stuff. So, yeah, so it says revolution in. That's why I went with it. Then I went with Rob Zombie's cover of the Grand Funk Railroad song "We Are an American Band." So I dig that version. Then I went with a couple of songs from Iced Earth. I went with Declaration Day, which directly talks about the Declaration of
right.
It's literally talks about the Declaration Day. So that's what it talks about. And then this one is a repeat from one of my earlier lists, but I also went with 1776 by Iced Earth, which is an instrumental, but it's still a cool song. I like it a lot. And then I rounded out my list with Got Your Six by Five Finger Death Punch. So I know Five Finger Death Punch gets shit on a lot by a lot of people in the metal industry, but say what you want about Five Finger Death Punch. You're entitled to your opinion, but that band loves our military, and exactly. I give them total props for that. So I mean, give them, if you won't give them props for anything else, give them props for their support of the military. That's why I have 3 of their songs in my top 10.
Doing these things, maybe let's like with the Ice Earth thing, doing these songs like now makes me like realize, like, did you people really surprised by John Schaefer going to the Capitol after hearing all the stuff that they write? Oh man.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I mean, where does the astonishment come in?
Right. Oh my God, no, he didn't. Oh. All right. Well, my list is I actually got a couple of same ones you did, but actually got a lot of good lot of ones too that you didn't cover. So I think I got two or three that you did. I think 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got 3 that you did. So the other 7 are actually different. So whenever I always think about stuff like this, the first one that always comes to my mind is "Motionless in White America." So if you haven't heard that song, it's a really, really good tune. Of course, I also had Metallica, "Don't Tread on Me," and I also had Iced Earth, "Declaration Day," and I also had Pantera, "Revolution Is My Name." So there was the 3 that I had that were yours. So I also had "All That Remains," "Sing for Liberty," had "9-Point Independence Day." Then I also had a Five Finger Death Punch song, but I chose "American Capitalist." And I had "Shine Down," "Cut the Cord," which, if you've never heard that song, it's freedom all in the middle, all in the first of the lyrics. Mm-hmm. Freedom.
Oh yeah.
So I thought that kind of fit in. I had "Make Them Suffer," "Fireworks." So
nice.
yeah. And then I ended mine off with Dee Snider, "American Made."
God, how could I forget that song? Jesus.
So that was my 10.
That was a good list.
yeah. Well, I think it was good that we both did this and only repeated 3 this time. I think half of our list last week was the same.
Yep. Well, the cool thing is last night, we decided that next week we've already done ballads. But what we're going to do is next week we are going to focus on strictly power ballads from the 1980s. So I think that could possibly lead to a couple of very distinct lists.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. I mean, I look forward to this. I look forward to doing this segment every week. But when you consider the decade and the topic, I mean, there is probably literally hundreds we could choose from. Power ballads from the 80s. Oh, yeah. I mean, get out of here. That's probably
so just so everybody knows,
go ahead.
So everybody knows, me and Chris do collaborate on Friday night just to kind of make sure we don't repeat news stories. Because we kind of try to get on the same page there. But this is a segment that we do not talk about, honestly. So we talk about it, but we don't give out anything that either one of us put in the list. So that's what makes it so cool. Is we really don't talk about it much. We just kind of okay, did you get your list? Yeah, okay, cool. And that's kind of all it's ever said. So when we do this list, it's actually a surprise to both of us too. So
absolutely, yeah.
Which makes it fun. I think it makes it fun. So
yeah. Well, then, like I've said before, I mean, it's fun in general because it makes you think like this list, and I said it before. This list was the one that I've had the most
Right.
difficulty with, because I don't know about you the way you do it, but what I try to do is I try to start building my list first right off the top of my head and see how many I can
Right.
get
That's what I
just
do. Yeah.
from memory. And then if I get stumped, I start doing some research, and that's when you have the oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, and then you start
Yeah.
remembering. Then you start remembering. So, but it is a fun thing to do just in general.
All right. So let's move on to our album reviews of the week, which was not very promising at the beginning.
Yeah,
uh,
this was a little bit of a rougher week for me. I don't know about you, Jason, but
yeah. It
um,
was pretty rough. So
yeah. So, again, if this is your first time listening to the show, whether live or on a rebroadcast later this week, Jason and I aren't really death metal guys. Me personally, I'm a thrash and power metal guy. Those are the two kind of sub genres that I lean towards most. Um, but I mean, there are always exceptions. I mean, there are some melodic death metal bands that I do like, but that's not the genre that we gravitate towards. So,
right.
again, we welcome the death metal fans, of course. We welcome fans of all the metal genres, but from a personal standpoint, that's just not where Jason
The
and
thing
we
the,
focus.
the, the thing is, we don't relate to it as much, but we also don't shit on it because it's still a genre of metal, and we
Exactly.
without it we wouldn't have the diversity that we do have in the metal industry. So
Exactly, but but when it comes to this segment of the show, when it comes to the album reviews, especially me, and I know Jason, you're kind of the same way. When we start doing these album reviews, when we pull the new releases from the list that we talk about on a weekly basis, usually when we hear that a new album, especially from a band that we've never heard of,
right.
when we hear that it's basically a death metal sound, we usually just kind of move on. But like I say, that's just our personal tastes. It just so happens that this week, the bulk of the new releases were basically all death metal. My formal review that I went with the new album, The Nightmare of Being, from At the Gates. At the Gates, they are a melodic death metal band from Gothenburg, Sweden. They were formed in 1990. There were a couple of periods of band hiatus, so they don't exactly have the most extensive catalog for a band that's been around for over 30 years. The Nightmare of Being was their seventh full length album. Their debut album, The Red in the Sky Is Ours, came out in 1992. With Fear I Kiss the Burning Darkness came out in 1993. Terminal Spirit Disease in 94, and Slaughter of the Soul in 1995. So, I mean, they started out their career strong. Their first four albums came out in a 4-year span, and then they had a hiatus from 96 to 2007, and then didn't release another full-length studio album until At War with Reality came out in 2014. To Drink from the Night itself came out in 2018, leading up to The Nightmare of Being, which came out yesterday. Their lyrical themes include inner struggles, death, anti-religion, and society. Let's see the members. The current lineup consists of Jonas Bjorler on bass. You have Adrian Erlinson on drums, Thomas Lindberg on vocals, Martin Larson on guitars, and Jonas Stahlhammer on guitars. That's a cool fucking last name, Stahlhammer. It's a badass last name. Um, like I say, yeah, like I say, death metal isn't normally a genre that I listen to, but the melodic death metal is a little different, because I seem to find that musically the melodic death metal and death metal are kind of two different things. Melodic death metal to me is a little more musically diverse, a little more what do you call it? A little more dynamic in their sound, where a lot of just regular death metal is basically the same pace, the same kind of song structure. Well, I mean, which is fine. I don't have a problem with it. But it just seems like with the bands that are in the melodic death metal genre, there seems to be a little more complexity in the music, and that seemed to be the case here. The vocal style of Thomas Lindberg is also, as far as death metal goes, it's a little bit cleaner. He doesn't sing clean at all, but he's got more of a he's instead of just the guttural death metal growling style. He's got more of a raspy screaming style. So I was able to understand his vocals a lot more, which actually helped me enjoy the songs a little bit more, as opposed to just the regular guttural death metal where it's like I hear you singing, I just can't understand what you're saying. So, so yeah, so to me, the way that Thomas Lindberg sings is a little bit more conducive to being able to enjoy the music a little more. There were some good guitar riffs. I liked some of the drum lines in the album, and like I say, the vocals were a little cleaner, which helped me to be able to understand the lyrics better, which is good. So. I'd probably give this a 3 out of 5. I would probably maybe not go out of my way to listen to this album again, but it's probably one that is probably one download that I would keep. And if the songs came on while I had the phone on shuffle, I would definitely not, skip any of the songs. So yeah, it was a death metal album that I think is something that I would listen to again. So yeah, I would give it a 3 horns out of 5. That was the only album I was able to listen to in its entirety. There was an EP, Jason, that I was telling you about last night, that I actually discovered on This Day in Metal over there on Twitter. Metalhead Marv actually had a new album listed on the Twitter page that wasn't added to our list. It was Realm of the Tormentor by a band called Dream Troll that I'd never heard of. It's 6 minutes, or it's 6 tracks, about 30 minutes long. I'm in the middle of listening to it right now. They're a power metal band. They've kind of got an old school sound. So far, not too bad. But that's the only other album I was able to listen to. So once I finish the Dream Troll EP in its entirety, I'll try to do kind of a write up on that on the Metalheads Unite Facebook page. But that's as far as I got as far as new music this week, with the exception of Rob Flynn doing a guest spot on a song by, I forget the name of the band already. Damn it. Jason, go ahead and take over. I'm gonna go look
It was
up
once something.
Yeah, hang on a second. I'm gonna go look it up.
There
But
you
go
go.
ahead and do your
Yeah,
review. Real
Yeah,
quick.
I took on Born of Osiris, their new album Angel or Alien. It's a 14 song, 55-minute, 3 second album. I believe this was their 8th release. If you're not familiar with Born of Osiris, they're an American progressive metalcore band formed in 2003 in Palatine, Illinois. The band currently consists of lead vocalist Ronnie Canizaro, guitarist Lee McKinney, and guitarist Nick Rossi, drummer Cameron Losh, and keyboardist vocalist Joe Boras. So they've been around since '03, so they've been around a little bit. I really love. I like a lot of Born of Osiris stuff. They do have some stuff that I can make it, but for the most part, it wasn't a bad album. I actually enjoyed a lot of it. I know you said you heard the one track, the title track, you didn't really care for, which was honestly maybe one of the worst tracks on the album. So, which is kind of odd for them to put out a single for something that for a song that's not really one of their best songs on the album. Which it tends to happen a lot, though. I think they just kind of put this out to see, if it gets, they feel like that's going to be the one that gets the most attention. So, but yeah,
Right.
I actually did not care for that song either. But there was a lot of other good music on that album. So I definitely enjoyed it. Probably would do 3.5 out of 5 on that one. So yeah, so not a bad Border of Osiris fans. Haven't heard it yet. Go out and check out their new album. So
yeah, I'm probably gonna if I get a chance to this week, I'm probably gonna check out the rest of that album because I would like to hear the rest after hearing the single for the title track. And the name of that song that I went blank on, it was the band is Once Human.
yeah,
And the name of the song is Deadlock, and Rob Flynn, lead singer of Machine Head, does a guest appearance on that. So that was the other new music that I got to hear this week. So
awesome. All right, so what we got to look forward to next week? Is it going to be a better week next week?
Man, fingers crossed. I kind of hope so. Coming up for July 9th, 2021. Leading off with Ascension of the Watchers, Translations, Apocrypha Remixed. Good Lord. We have Christian Death with Atrocities. That's a re-release for them. We have Domination Campaign with Onward to Glory. We have 2 re-releases from Frost. We have Experiments in Mass Appeal and Million Town. We have Hammers of Misfortune with The Bastard. That's a re-release for them. We have Hardline with Heart, Mind, and Soul. We have LA Guns with Cocked and Loaded. That's a live album for them. We have The Life Project with a self-titled EP. We have Mayhem with Atavistic Black Disorder / Commando. That's an EP for them. We have Musk Ox with Inheritance. We have Powerwolf with Call of the Wild. I'll probably check that one out. I like Powerwolf. Yes. Yeah, so we'll check that out, probably both of us. And then we have Silverstein with When Broken is Easily Fixed. That's a re-release for them. We have Toby Hitchcock with Changes. And we have a various artists compilation called World Without End, an underground tribute to Sam Hain. So that's the list we have as of right now for July 9th, 2021.
Awesome.
Hey, Crowley, it's nice to see you showing up at the end of the episode.
He's probably been listening the whole time.
Better late than never. Hey, better late than never, though, Crowley. It's good to see you.
He just now got a chance to comment. That's all that was. But yeah, so it looks like we may have a little bit more to choose from. Hopefully, we find a hidden gem in there next week. What's up? Yeah.
Not much, Crowley. We're wrapping this mofo up right now, but still, it's good to see you. You waited till the end of the show just to be able to say cock, block, and loaded. That's what it was.
Yeah. So you didn't get it like took off the feed in the middle of the show.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's what we've got to look forward to new release wise next week, and also like we alluded to, our top 10 list next week is going to be power ballads from the 1980s.
No. So I just want to thank everybody for jumping on here with us today, and I hope you guys have a safe weekend. Definitely be safe out there with whatever you plan to do. Don't light your bottle rockets inside the vodka bottle you're drinking out of. That might lead to catastrophe.
Right. Yeah. Please don't.
Vodka soaked bottle rocket.
Please don't blow off any appendages, and please don't drink and drive. Never drink and drive, but be careful, everybody, this weekend. Have a good time. Celebrate this country, like it deserves to be celebrated, and everybody go back to work fully intact. So,
put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse.
Put it in reverse, Terry. I was just about to say that.
Oh God.
Yes, somebody please make sure that Terry's battery is fully charged. So,
Yeah.
you know, so he can fully get out of the way this year. But you know, happy Independence Day to everybody. We hope you guys enjoyed the you guys enjoyed the show this week. Thanks everybody for coming by. Crowley, thanks for showing up. You know, like I say, better late than never. And just thanks for coming by, everybody. Everybody have a great week.
Yeah, just say everybody just my normal sign off is keep those horns held high and then jump in that pit anytime you can. Until next week.
Thank you guys.